Well, welcome once again to my channel, to Canto 5, which I've entitled Wedding Night. I'm going to read two poems, and I'm kind of going back now. I've talked quite a bit about grief and about loss in the first four cantos, some of the difficult aspects of that. And I thought it would be worth kind of going way back and talking about our wedding night and the first few months of our marriage. I'm not the first person to observe that the depth of your grief is directly related to the height of your pleasure, that the trough and the crest of the experience of love is one thing. So you can kind of play it safe and settle for ripples, or you can go for the whole enchilada and you're going to suffer more, but you're also going to have a deeper, more profound experience of living. And I think lament and praise are also twins. They're two-sided, two faces of the same basic experience. So that's kind of where these poems that I'm going to read reside. So I'll read you the first one, which is called The Soft and the Loud. I wrote it on what would have been the 50th anniversary of our marriage, September 4th, 2021. It's 50 years since the day we wed. When we made our vows, I spoke out clearly. The church rang with my voice. Then you made your voice in a voice, your vows in a voice, so quiet, only God, the priest, and I could hear a sound. Later, after the hilarious reception, that's a different poem, and after we'd showered and were climbing naked, a little anxious, and as I like to joke in later years, dewy fresh, into that strange bed called marriage, you told me you were angry and disappointed. I had chosen to speak so loudly. I said I wanted the world to know. It was only between you and me, you said. I don't agree. Then you said, gazing down at your 19-year-old loveliness, this is all for you, body and soul. That shut me up. But we lived almost 50 years in the tension of those inaugural words. The whisper married the loudmouth. Whisperer married the loudmouth. And now I'm here alone, writing poem after poem in your praise, hoping I'm not too loud. I don't really have much to comment on that poem. I think it's pretty straightforward. I will say that I had a strange feeling of confidence in the church. I wasn't a terribly confident young person. And I think Gabrielle had a strange feeling of confidence. She was pretty shy. So her behavior on our wedding night was out of character and startled me. Her confidence in her beauty and her confidence in her sexuality caught me off guard. And I think perhaps when you're doing the right thing, there's a kind of confidence, you can feel it. You know it's the right thing, even if you can't exactly explain what it is that you know. So this is the second poem I'm going to read, and it's on a chess game that we had shortly after we moved into our first apartment, probably about I think about 7 days after our honeymoon, so just after the events described in the first poem. And this one's called Thinking from Both Sides of the Board. The week after our honeymoon, we moved into an apartment, the second floor of a small house, over a single mother and her daughter, Charlene, who she cooed over in public and yelled at in private. At breakfast the second morning, you challenged me to a game of chess. I'd been on the high school chess team and played in the Montreal Championship, where in the second round I was crushed in 19 moves by a 13-year-old kid named Ben from Westmount High, the eventual runner-up. I thought, why would she choose to battle on my chosen ground? Have you ever played chess? No. Do you know the rules? No. Why do you want to play me then? I don't know. Okay. So I explained the rules. And for the first few moves, it seemed a normal game. Then the pace slowed dramatically. We left the board on an unused corner of the small kitchen table. And over breakfast, you'd ask, what do you think of this move? Well, it's problematic, I'd say. You'll have trouble getting that bishop and castle into the game later on. The next morning I asked, are you ready to move? You, in my grandfather's voice, would say, what's your hurry, laddie? Or sometimes, like me, West, I like a man who takes his time. After that, at every breakfast, we talked over your options. While Charlene's mother yelled she'd be late for the bus, or about something, some minor peccadillo. Every 7 to 10 days, you made a move. And I'd make mine right after because I'd already considered how I'd respond to all those options we'd discussed together. After 10.5 months, we agreed to a draw. It's the only game of chess we ever played. Now, you, out there, can you tell me, how do you tell the teacher from the student? Okay, I think I'm done. Canto 5, our wedding night.